welcome to the history of Digimon Digital Monsters, Season 1.
Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions.
Digivolve into champions. Digivolve into ultimate.
Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon.
So, today I'm going to be explaining about Episode 2. Now, from about where I left off at Episode 1...
Let me bring you up to speed. Me and the other 6 kids were kicking back at summer camp when a freak snowstorm hits. We find these digivices, and bam! The next thing you know, we're transported to this whacked-out island. One by one, we make friends with these creatures who are known as digital monsters or Digimon. Everything was cool till Agumon showed up. Our new friend somehow digivolved into bigger Digimon and scared him off, or so we thought. Talk about your cliffhangers.
They were falling off the cliff after Kawagumon's pincers caused the part of the cliff they were on to crumble, and they keep falling and falling and... Biyomon, Tentomon, and Patamon grab their respective partners, and then Patamon uses her vine-like arms to grab a piece of the mountain where they were on, but it crumbled as well, and they fall into the water. Now, this episode is specifically important because of the fact that it is the only episode in the entire first series where we see Agumon call his marching fishes, as he later called it later on in the original, as the fish bed. And then they're floating on it down the river, and they're surprised to see that also Kawaguman is falling into the river as well. And they keep going on the fish bed and keep going and going. And then in the next scene, they're on solid ground instead of in the water. And then Matt, being calm and collected, states,
I knew we'd be okay. I wasn't worried.
What was that, a floating fish market?
Lucky for us, those fish were having a school reunion.
those fish that they were on were just good friends of his, and he just asked them for a lift. And then Joe's telling him that all these years I thought I was allergic to seafood. Thank you. And the fish will play a recurring role.
I guess it's not Bukamon?
Gomamon now.
Gomamon.
And I guess that you're not Tokamon, are you?
Now I'm Patamon.
It's all because we digivolved.
I don't think that word's in my dictionary.
So digivolving is what happens when they advance to the next level and become more powerful than before.
It's explaining the process of digivolution, which is basically them going to the next level and becoming more powerful than before. Joe, being the paranoid one of the group, he's wondering if there was a phone nearby so that they could call the police or fire department or his mom.
There was a payphone nearby. We could call the police or fire department or my mother.
But we don't even know where we are.
Well, we know where we started, up there on that mountain.
I say we forget about going back and explore around here.
But Joe doesn't want to explore anywhere. He wants to stay right where he is. Then Joe's like, then Matt's like, yeah, let's wait for that giant bug to come get us.
We need to find a road leading someplace to get away from here.
Matt's right, but without a compass, we don't even know which way is north.
Wait, I do.
Well, which way is it?
It's the opposite of south.
And then Joe's complaining that he shouldn't wear the pants he's wearing in the episode, and that they ride up when he does a lot of walking. So after a long discussion about things, they hear some phones.
Wait a minute, listen. What's that?
A phone.
Either that or we're all hearing things.
Like they hear these telephone booths ringing, and then Joe's ecstatic about it because he told them all they needed was a phone and that they were saved. But when Ty gets up to the phone booth that has his phone on it,
Why'd it stop ringing, Ty?
Wrong number?
Well, that's bizarre.
My theory is aliens. They've set these phone booths out as a trap.
and this episode is significant in the fact that, as I stated in my video about Izzy's character, he begins this alien theory.
If we can find a place that delivers, let's order pizza.
Whatever you get, no anchovies for me. The question is, what are these doing here at the beach?
So people can call their parents for a ride home.
Everyone's wondering what a parent is, and the reason for that is because Digimon don't actually have parents. They're born from Digi-eggs that are hatched in a special place. Anyway, I won't explain what the special place in the Digiworld is, but I will tell you this. The Digidestins, Digimon, weren't exactly born in that special place that I said. They were raised in a factory. After that, Ty's looking at Joe's direction. He's like, oh boy, check out the genius.
See, he's trying to call the telephone repairman because the telephones don't work. Problem is, look! Joe's got the emergency food.
What?
That he only brought it along because it was Mimi's turn to carry the bag. And after that, he's complaining at Mimi. He's explaining that she has to think about somebody other than herself for once and take a little responsibility. And then after that, Ty is he's wanting them to calm down because they have enough. The most important thing is that they have enough food to eat. So they sit down to have lunch, and then Joe does some calculations.
Okay, let's figure this out. There's 7 people in the group times 3 days. Times 3 meals, that comes to...
63 meals.
All right, so split evenly between us, we have,
Enough food for 3 days.
Right. Oh, exactly. I guess you knew that.
But you guys, when you add in the Digimon, we really only have enough for about half an hour.
Oh, that's right.
Not a problem at all. We Digimon hunt and forage for ourselves.
And there's no need for them to be added into the calculations. And then Joe's like, he's saying, okay, now that that's taken care of, let's go ahead and divide this between the 7 people here.
This is great. I could eat a dozen of these.
Just what do you think you're doing?
I'm glad we never hear you complaining.
And then Joe freaks out again. He's like, you people make me crazy. And then after that, there's a small, intense little scene where there's noises. Goemon's in the river. He hears a noise below the water. And then all of a sudden, Biyomon notices it too. And then water spouts up out of nowhere and causes the phone booths that they were using before to crash onto the sand floor, and they're wondering what it is. And then when a shell pops up, Tentamon's like, Shellmon!
What's a Shellmon? Something that gets mad for no reason.
Attacked by 2 digital monsters in the same day. And doesn't Shellmon know I'm allergic to shellfish?
The same Shellmon that Ty fights in This episode I'm talking about shows up later on in the Dark Master Saga, and once again during Season 2. Joe's climbing up the mountainside, but then Shellmon uses the water that he sprays from these little hair things that he has on his head to cause Joe to fall off the cliff and collapse.
Digimon, attack!
Then Agumon's telling the Digimon to attack, but when they fight, Agumon's the only one who had anything to eat, so he's the only one who can actually fight. Therefore, the others are inoperable because they didn't have enough food to eat at the time.
Blaster!
Viral Twister!
Super Shocker!
What's happening to them?
They look like they've lost their powers.
Agumon!
Poison Ivy! Huh?
Go get him, Agumon!
Why is it only Agumon?
We're just too hungry.
So it's basically just Tai and Agumon on their own for the fight. Then Agumon wants Tai to provide a diversion for him to attack. Then Tai grabs like a little metal rod thing, a little metal rod, and tries to jab it into the side of Shellmon's shell.
Agumon, looks like it's just you and me now.
Then give me a diversion.
Hey, Shellmon, Ugly, over here.
No, don't!
This'll work. Huh? How do you like that?
Hold on, Tai!
But then that just agitates him, and one of his hairs grabs Tai, and then after that he steps on Agumon, and then Agumon all of a sudden digivolves to a champion form, Greymon.
What's going on? Agumon! Digivolve to...
And uses his Nova Blast to send him into the sea.
Now you're getting him. Go, Greymon.
Digi-Nova Blast!
And then after that, he turns back into Agumon, and then Tai runs over to him and he's like, "What? Agumon?" And then he's like, "Oh, are you alright? You poor little guy, Agumon."
Tai! Do you have anything to eat?
Hello? Come on, I know you're there. Operator! Operator!
There's really no reason to stay here now.
Who wants to break the bad news to Joe?
You want some more? Just say so.
Shellmon wasn't destroyed. He was just temporarily removed. We should pack up and leave before he decides he wants to come back for round 2.
Good idea.
In that case, we should go right back to the forest, because if anybody's looking for us, that's the place they'll go.
Joe, I said this before. We fell off a cliff and floated down a river to get here, and getting back there's a really big job.
And we could run into Agumon.
Now listen, logically speaking, if there are telephones here, then there must be people to use them. So I think it makes good sense to try and find those people.
That makes sense?
It certainly does.
Then let's all get going.
Ty's explaining that they should all get going, and then Agumon agrees with them. He's like, anywhere you want to go, I'll go, Ty. You just pick the direction.
Anywhere you want to go, I'll go, Ty. You just pick the direction.
Then let's get out of this place.
And let the monsters beware.
Well, my plan is to avoid all monsters. Yep, that's my plan.
Okay, here we go.
And that ends episode 2. Thanks for watching this episode of the History of Digimon Digital Monsters, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.